name is Robin, and I'm here to tell you the different things that deaf people are using to help them along with technology these days. One of the things I use all the time is a telephone. It doesn't look like this. It doesn't look like this. It's on my computer. And what I do is I log in as myself, and I type who I want to talk to, and somebody on the other line reads that to them. That person I am calling says it back, and that person in the middle types what they said. Yes, it's not a private conversation, but to me, if I want to actually talk to the person and they don't have a camera, that's the best way. It's not friends that I call in this way. Friends, I know I can FaceTime or Messenger or the other things that I'm going to explain. But if I want to phone the doctor, or if I want to make an appointment to get something on my car fixed, I'm going to phone through TELUS IP relay, and I'm going to talk to them about everything that I need. And then when I hang up the phone, it actually prints out and saves a copy of the whole transcript for me. So I can go back and say, hey, you told me I could have that for $15, so you can't charge me for $25 now, can you? That's the beauty of IP relay. So it saves the conversation and you can print it. The other thing that I use in our house is called a bed shaker. I can't hear an alarm clock. So what will happen is my alarm's supposed to go off at 7 o'clock. I have a device that sits under my mattress and actually just shakes the bed. Kind of like if you're a teenager and your mom comes up to you and goes like this. It does that, but a little bit harder. If the bed shaking isn't enough for you, it can also be attached to your lights. So at the same time, your bed is shaking and your lights are flashing on and off. That's when you know, I gotta get up. Unless you hit the snooze button, but I'm not a snooze button kind of girl. The other thing there is there's closed captioning on TVs now. Back when I was a kid, there was no such thing as captioning. There was a caption box that was probably the same size as the TV is right now. And, you know, it would kind of tell you the captions, but I don't know if any of you watch captioning. Captions are not always correct. They're not always on time. Sometimes they go across the screen so fast you don't even see what they said. Sometimes they just stop for no reason, and then they pick up, and your 2 sentences or 3 scenes forward. You have no clue what they just said. That's when the actual pause, rewind, and go back button works really good for you. There's a lot of technology that has captions. YouTube, you can put your captions automatically. So as soon as something YouTube comes up, you put the captions on, you can see it on the screen. One of the most exciting things that's happening right now is with the pandemic that's happening is all of the press releases and conferences have an interpreter standing beside the speaker now. You don't know how exciting that is. So now I've got the speaker speaking English, I've got captions on the bottom of my screen, and I have an interpreter also interpreting that screen for me. One of the most interesting facts is a lot of the time the interpreter is deaf themselves. And what is happening is the speaker is speaking, you have an interpreter that is hearing, sitting here, interpreting what he's saying into that language, and then the deaf interpreter is interpreting into language that deaf people can understand. I'm not saying that all sign language is exactly the same, but when you're brought up on sign language, there's a certain way that English works and a certain way deaf people understand the way they were taught. A hearing person that is an interpreter is taught the correct English way. That does not mean that a deaf person is going to understand that. So you have interpreters going back and forth. The other thing is a lot of the meetings, like the Zoom meetings, you can assign a captioner. You can assign somebody that's in the meeting just to type away, goes across the screen for you. Same thing for team meetings. You can hit auto captions, and when you're in a team meeting, your computer's actually picking up the voice and it's translating at the bottom of your screen. So many things coming up that are helping with technology. There's also things called an FM device. It just sits around your neck and it Bluetooths into your hearing aid. It amplifies things a little bit more so you can understand people that might be in a different room. I've been to meetings before, and I will put it on the desk or with the presenter that's speaking, and I will walk away on a break. I can still hear them talking, and I forget to turn it off sometimes. But then I come back in and I can follow. I can sit in a group of 300 people being the only deaf person in the room. And because that speaker has an FM device in their pocket that is streaming to my hearing aid, I have so much better chance to understand them. Yes, I still do need to see them speaking and their lips to go with what I'm hearing. I would not be able to do it in a different room for sure. But there's so many different things that are helping out there and is bringing to light that yes, deaf people are different. Deaf people can't do things the way you can do them. But the only thing that's wrong, well, not even wrong, the only thing that's not working correctly are our ears. Our brains are just as good as yours. Our bodies can do anything anybody else's can do, sometimes even better. You don't know. The only thing that doesn't work is the ears not working correctly. So we have these different ways that we can fix that. And with your understanding and patience, you can also go on these technology and help us out and make sure that we're included. It's so wonderful to be included in the world nowadays.